Okay, so we're asked to graph the equation of the line y equals 2x minus 3, and this line is already in slope-intercept form because the y is on its own. Okay. Now, when a line is in slope-intercept form, the number in front of the x, in this case the 2, now don't include the x, it's just the number in front of the x. The number in front of the x is the slope of the line. Okay, so that's going to be the slope of our line. And the number that's on its own in the equation, in this case minus 3, and you include the sign, whether it's negative 3 or positive 3, you have to include the sign. The number that's on its own is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. Okay, so that tells you where the y-intercept is going to be. Okay, and the first thing we do is to plot this on the y-axis. Okay, so once we identify the slope, the number in front of x, and the y-intercept, the number on its own, the first thing we'll do is plot this on the y-intercept, or on the y-axis, I beg your pardon. Plot on the y-axis. Okay, so it can be a little bit difficult, but let's see if it goes. So it should be right there on the y-axis. Okay, so that's going to be the first point on our graph. Now what we do is we move to the slope. Okay, so we move to the slope now. We're going to take the slope next, and the slope is 2. And we write this as a fraction. Okay, so as a fraction, that's 2 over 1. But now, the other thing you should know about the slope, if you remember its formula from the notes, the slope formula is rise over run. Okay, the slope formula is rise over run. Now, how does that help us? Well, it helps us in this way. What we'll do is we'll begin at the y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to begin at negative 3. This is going to tell us from the y-intercept, okay, the run tells us to move to the right. Move 1 square to the right. Okay, so we'll not mark anything yet, but we're starting here at the y-intercept. We're going to move 1 square to the right, so we're going to move there first of all, but let's not mark it. And then after that, following that, the next thing we do, and I'll put it down here because it's the last thing we do, is we raise up 2 squares. So move up 2 squares. Okay. So, let's go through that again. From the y-intercept, move 1 square to the right, and then move up 2 squares, so 1, 2, and we're going to put another dot there. Okay, we're going to put another dot there. And then, using your ruler or a straight edge, what we're going to do, I'm going to actually use the mouse to help me here, but what we're going to do here is we're going to try our best to draw a line that goes through those 2 points as best we can. Okay, so the line should go through those 2 points. And can we move it this way a little bit? Okay, and that's probably quite good. Okay, and there we have it. There's our line. That's the equation of the line. And if you want to, or that's the line whose equation is y equals 2x minus 3. Okay? So it's not terribly difficult. The first thing to do is to identify the slope and the y-intercept. Once you know the y-intercept, put it on the axis and go back to the slope. And using rise over run, figure out how far to move, beginning at the y-intercept, how far to move to the right and how far to move up or down. If it's positive, you move up. And another example would say a negative slope that moves us down. And you join the 2 points with a straight line and continue that line through the 2 points. Okay, we'll get lots more practice on these.